Hello, you're listening to Ready, Set, Go Real Estate Investing Podcast, presented by Brandon Elliott. This show will be going over all aspects of real estate investing and is intended to educate, motivate, and prepare you to take action on your first or next real estate investment. For more information, please visit BrandonElliottInvestments.com. Thank you for listening and enjoy.
Welcome back, everyone, to Ready, Set, Go Real Estate Investing Podcast. I am your host, Mr. Brandon Elliott. I'm excited today. We have a special guest coming from West Virginia, a guy that I've been connected with for the last, a little bit
years
over,
at least. Yeah.
Coming
up on 2 years, I'd say.
Yeah, it's been awesome building up the relationship. He's actually part of our Credit Council Elite Mastermind group, and we've been able to see just awesome transformation with his credit profile and what they've been able to build up. And what's really exciting that we want to have him on here today is the power behind real estate, right? How it's changing our lives one house at a time. And this guy has been able to go from 0 to 50 transactions in real estate in just the last 3 years. And I'm not talking about like a real estate agent here. I'm talking about a real estate investor. So these guys he's part CEO of a company. What's the name of it?
Building Appalachia
over in West Virginia. And these guys are doing some awesome things. They got, 30 holds roughly? 30?
Yep, roughly 30 rental properties. We're working on like flip number 11 and 12, like currently. We've got quite a few in contract. We're a little more rural area, so the wholesaling thing is kind of something that we're starting to learn, but it's something that we can take and master and grow on in the future if we can get, other like-minded people in the area to share the wealth with. But we're just in little old West Virginia here. It's actually a state. It's not like the western part of Virginia, like everybody says. I'm like, yeah, we're from West Virginia. And they're like, well, I've been to Richmond. I'm like, yeah, that's cool because that's the next state over.
Different state over.
They don't really know like that it's actually a state, oddly enough. But, we're here. Hello.
I love it. It's like, what's up? Yeah. But Jacob, anybody out there that doesn't know exactly like your story or who you are, what you're all about, do you mind just diving in a little bit, about who you are, just so the people can understand a little bit?
Yeah, sure. So, without getting too much into it, I mean, I think I'm like just your average person, man. I grew up in a small town here in West Virginia, probably underprivileged and whatnot, dad in and out, stepdad in and out, and my two sisters, we had it hard growing up, always had tunnel vision, one day to make it somewhere. And I think that drive and, a good support group around me has kind of got me to where we are. I think a lot of people can really relate to that story. And if they're not currently doing something, I mean, they've got embedded in their mind that they're going to do something some way, somehow, but, just keep plugging away at it, man, and something's going to fall in your lap with persistence. But grew up here in West Virginia, went to college, West Virginia State University, was in construction, not like residential construction, oddly enough, completely different type of construction from housing construction or remodeling. Did environmental construction for a few years. And then I got into the car business. I was working in construction out of town, and a good buddy of mine named Tom Peden would hit me up about every week, and he'd say, "Bud, let's go hang out, man." And I'd be like, "I'm out of town." We would work out of town during the week, come home on the weekends. And 2-3 weeks later, he would call me back and say, "Man, let's go hang out." And I said, "Dude, I'm out of town. I'll be back on Saturday." He called me on Saturday, and I'll say, "I'm out of town." He's like, "Well, you're never home, man. You should really rethink your life's path here." And I said, "What do you mean?" His dad owned a huge car dealership. He was like, "Bud, you need to go sell cars." And I was like, "I'm not selling any cars, man." So he kind of talked me into doing that and tried it. I called my boss or we were seasonal in work for the construction. We were outside. So if it was too cold, and it was probably, actually right around this time, 8 years ago, that I started playing around with selling cars. So I tried it. My first month, I was like, man, I talked to our GM. I said, "How many cars should I sell in a month?" And he goes, "Son, if you sold me 10 cars, I'd be proud of you." And so, 1 month in, I sold 20 and a half cars, which you can sell half a car, believe it or not, and made a pile of money. So I called my foreman and I said, "Man, I need a raise." And he's like, "What kind of raise?" I was like, this kind of raise. And he's like, "I don't think I can do that." And I was like, "Well, nice knowing you."
Yeah.
From then on, 8 years ago, I've been selling cars and, doing well. I managed managed a couple of our dealerships for a few years and then had the idea, starting up a real estate company. And it was time consuming. Car business is pretty time consuming. So I had to have help some way, somehow. So I thought of partnering with somebody. So my business partner, his name is Jordan Chris, probably sleeping right now. Who knows? But, I reached out to him and I said, look, man, think about starting up a company, flipping houses. And he's like, well, what do you mean? I told him, I gave him in a nutshell because I've been doing research and whatnot. And he said, okay, that sounds cool. But man, I'm not really interested. He was working at UPS at the time.
Yep.
I reached out to him and he kind of
Jordan was actually on the podcast. I forget which episode, but a long time ago. So if you guys want to go back and listen to his story and his episode, then you definitely want to tune in and search for that one.
So, working with him or not working with him, actually, he was like, I'm not really interested.
Yeah.
So time goes on. I don't know that, his job really wasn't being the best to him and whatnot. And he reached out to me and said, well, what were you talking about real estate? So I kind of clued him in a little bit. And he's like, F it. Am I allowed to cuss on here?
Yeah. Do your thing, man. Do your thing.
He's like, screw it. Let's do it, man. And I said, all right, cool. So, we invested in our education. And, we bought our first house, not a dollar in our name, basically. We talked about it, didn't have any action. And then, we kind of came to the conclusion, we're never going to do anything unless we take action. So we started firing offers off and bam, got one accepted. And we were like, oh, crap, how are we going to pay for this? So we sourced money. And, that was that. Our first deal was like probably our worst deal.
Yeah. It always is, man. There's always a lot of learning curves on that first one.
Oh, man, it was. And it's because that, we didn't really have a good system in place,
Yeah.
We just was kind of firing away at it. And it took us exactly 1 year to buy, fix, renovate, and sell that house. Our investor made more money than us. So if that tells you anything.
I hear you. You know what's awesome though? You were able to still complete the transaction and be able to get the money back to your investor, which is awesome.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, because they're first, they're always going to get taken care of. First lien holder position, the whole nine. Make sure to protect your investors.
Yeah, otherwise that will spread pretty quickly. You don't want that.
Oh, yeah. Dude, I think he was our first and, probably one of our biggest investors. And he owns like half of a semi-pro baseball team down in Alabama called the Flying Squirrels. Wow. And he's also one of our attorneys. He goes, he tells his banker one day as, walking out of his law office, he's like, hey, yeah, these dudes right here, they're the best investment I have right now. And he's like, what? These cats, these kids?
Yeah. I love it. So, okay. So you went from, selling cars and hustling. That's a great industry to be in, first off, because you get that
it is. Yeah.
Hands-on sales.
There's no better person-on-person interaction that you could get into more than that. Like, sure, selling houses, real estate agent, that's great. But, you're talking to one client a day, maybe every other day. I mean, at a car lot, man, you're in front of 4 or 5 people. You're meeting a lot of people, bumping a bunch of elbows. You're bantering back and forth. You're building rapport. You get real good at that real quick, or you're not really going to last in the car business. But it's great for sales. Like, anybody want to try selling cars, I highly, highly recommend it. Just to build your people skills, or it's like to branch out a little bit. It's a good learning curve for anybody. Again, I had zero sales experience. I was coming from environmental construction, nothing like sales. And just to be candid, I was, have been our best or one of our top guys year after year with zero sales experience. It's a personality thing, I would say. I think
it is, but it's also something that you develop. And, like I did door knocking for Kirby vacuum cleaners for a while.
Too. Yeah, I said I had zero sales experience, but I think I did that for like 3 months. Like, no, this is not for me. Completely out of my shell.
but that's the thing. Like, I'm naturally very introvert, believe it or not, and I'm constantly always working to push myself out of my comfort zone. And that right there helped in so many different ways. Like, I use those tactics that I learned in door knocking to get my foot in the door to do a presentation an hour long or several hours to sell a $3,500 vacuum cleaner.
Yeah, that was nerve-wracking, wasn't it?
Yeah, but it was amazing because the techniques that I learned, I still use on a daily basis in real estate. And it's just priceless of how much I should have paid for that type of information.
Oh, agreed.
I love it. Okay, so obviously you're utilizing some of the techniques that you've used in a daily basis from learning the sales experience into real estate now. But let's just kind of backtrack for a second. Where did you guys get the education for real estate? And why real estate?
That's a good question. So our education came from basically two kind of platforms. Well, Fortune Builders primarily taught us the systems and whatnot to educate ourselves enough not to make the mistakes that we made on our first flip. Again, once implementing that stuff and putting the right pieces in place, using the right contracts and documents and making sure that, we're protected as well as our contractors, our investors, the whole nine. It's a step A to Z type of thing that we invested thousands and thousands of dollars. And I would do it again in a heartbeat to have the education that I do today. Like you said, there's not a price tag on a Kirby vacuum cleaner sales experience. Well, there's a price tag on, doing something right the first time and watch, rinse, and repeat and be able to create a system out of something to, not perfect because, nothing's perfect, but to be close to perfection as you can in real estate investing.
The confidence that that, hey, these guys have done it so many times. They've showed so many other people to do the same exact thing and they're getting the same results. So it's the confidence you get from it, knowing that you are protected and that you're that much closer to get the results that you're looking for. It is priceless because it'll save you the time and the money, which is awesome. But why real estate for you guys?
I just feel like it's a catalyst. I don't know about you, but I think most people know somebody who's involved in real estate. And for me, that's really what it took to kind of see a catapult for financial success or financial stability. I know a gentleman here who, is an older guy who has been a mentor to me for many, many years. His name's Steve. And he, has a huge rental portfolio. And when I was a younger kid, I think I met him when I was 16, waiting tables at Bob Evans. And, he just started spilling, knowledge bombs to me about real estate and whatnot. It just piqued my interest. And, I started poking and prodding. They were, they'd come there, every so often. And I poked and prodded at him and kind of wanted to hear his story a little bit. What exactly is it that you do? So after hearing this, it piqued my interest and I wanted to know more because I thought surely at the time, I think he told me he had 65 houses or something like that. And I was like, oh my God, 65 houses. You gotta be,
oh my God,
you gotta be rich, right? How do I do that? And, over time, I've known him for, 15 years now. And he's well over 100 rental properties, a ton of commercial properties. Very nice guy, great education and good to learn from. So it was taking and getting one of those people dropped into my life to where I just knew that's the route I wanted to go. I always had it buried in the back of my mind. We get caught up in day-to-day life and school and work, and we get that 9 to 5. And trust me, that's not it. Whatever you got burning and turning in the back of your brain, keep a tender on it because, never wonder, you might get a gust of wind and it'll blow up into something big. You never know when you'll get that opportunity. You never know. You might get fired. My God, that could be the best thing to ever happen to you to where you can say, you know what, I think this is the time. I'm at rock bottom. We've all had rock bottom type of situation, but whatever it is, I think keep hold of it. Mine was real estate. I think everybody they watch HGTV and all that fun stuff. So they're like, man, I want to do that. $50,000 on a house. That sounds nice. That would heal anybody, right? Don't think about it. Just do it. Just do it, man.
So good. And it's really awesome, bringing up the one guy that kind of pushed off some influence on you because you get to physically see him that it is possible, right? You get to see that this guy's doing it. I can do it too. And you get the motivation, you get the inspiration from these guys and, some education and guidance along the way. So you don't make those bigger mistakes.
Absolutely.
So let's talk about your role within the business. For the most part, you handle the sales and acquisition side, correct?
Exactly. So, man, again, none of this would be possible without my business partner, Jordan. He's like an engineer by trade. He can build a freaking spreadsheet better than anybody.
This is
he
true.
does our account.
I've seen it.
see. Better than anybody. He keeps our books straight. I mean, I'm just blowing in the wind without him. Again, back to sales, like I'm a people person. I'm sales and negotiation and acquisitions and things like that. Again, Jordan does most of our marketing. I try to help out with that as much as I can, but I like to, physically, talk to people, get to know them, find out their situation and see how I can help them. That's my big thing. I mean, whether it's selling a vacuum cleaner or a car or buying someone's house, you're assessing and seeing what kind of needs they have. Like, hey, you need a $3,500 vacuum cleaner? No? Well, let me help you see why you do. I don't know.
Let me show you why you need one.
Let me show you why you need, or you really helping somebody who's at rock bottom who needs the car, or somebody who's in like financial crisis and really needs to sell their house fast. I mean, everybody's situation is different. And, I like to poke and prod and see how I can really help somebody out.
Yeah, try to find the problem here and then figure out if you can be the solution, which is awesome. How are
Absolutely.
you guys?
And if I can't, my God, we're going to help them find the best solution that we can. Or, if it's not us that can help you, maybe we can get you in front of the right people who can.
Yeah, that's good. And that's what it's always about, making it a win-win. And if you can't help out, just obviously pass it on to somebody that can, which is awesome. So when it comes down to lead generation, how are you guys typically getting the leads coming in?
So we're in Charleston, West Virginia. That's our primary market, or our county is called Kanawha County. And we're a smaller area. So we get a lot of, organic leads and whatnot from Facebook and the marketing and just having like a social media presence. We've done some like paid/target marketing before, and it had an overwhelming success with it sometimes. We did some direct mail. Again, we're not in a saturated market like Atlanta, Georgia. I mean, I couldn't imagine living there getting 14 pieces of mail every day saying, we buy houses. I couldn't imagine that. But we're not so saturated here. We did some direct mail at some times, and we bought a few properties that way. But, well, I'll tell you this, how we acquired some of our rentals, or a good portion of them at least. We were doing some direct mail and, inbound call. Hey, what's this card here for? You want to buy my house? 426 Ferguson. Why do you want to buy this house? I said, we like the area firstly, and we're targeting houses in that neighborhood with a certain price point. And actually, we're targeting people who don't live in those houses. I didn't know if it's an investment property for you, one you've inherited, or one that's just, gone and you've let go, or I want to see if we could possibly help you out and buy the house from you. Well, why that house? I've got so many other great houses that you could buy, but why that one? I said, oh, you do? What are the addresses to those? So he starts rattling them off. I mean, there's, actually, so I think in total it was like 24 properties. We purchased half of them. We got the other half in contract, and we should be closing on those sometimes this year. But he starts naming them off, bam, bam, bam. And I'm like, what the heck is going on here? I didn't know how to react. I didn't want to seem like too giddy or whatnot. I was like, daggone, this direct marketing works. So we did a little bit of that, and it went so good we had to shut it off. Firstly, it was quite expensive for what we were doing and the pace we were moving at the time. We were still young. So we were like, we turned it off. We was like, $4.99 a month, turn it off. Like, we don't want it no more. We were overwhelmed with the amount of leads that we got at the time. So direct mail, social media, we're doing a lot of stuff with, what do you call, like Top Results Consulting with Sean Tiberia. They helped and taken and made our website and helped us out with like some SEO type stuff. So I guess you wouldn't, maybe that's organic. I don't know. That's all Jordan's forte. So we're getting a lot of looks that way as well. organically, word of mouth, that's a good thing. I mean, I think people see like two young guys, working hard, and I mean, two nice guys, if I'm going to say myself. Like, I think, we do get called young all the time, and people are, kind of maybe taken back by that. But then, like, we're building, what do you say, like faith in our company, just like, with our social presence, with our website, kind of redirecting them around there. And they're like, oh, these kids are no joke. I mean, hey, 5-star Google review, 5-star Facebook review. Something must be nice here, and we try not to be like super salesy and take advantage of people. I mean, word of mouth, the whole nine. I think we get a little bit of leads from everywhere.
I like that. So when these leads come in, do you guys have like a specific type of approach that, strategy? Are you guys always trying to fix and flip or hold, or does it really matter and you're just looking at the project and seeing, hey, what is this going to be the best in? Should we hang on to it? Should
that's
we flip
a great
it,
question.
wholesale it?
I think you hit it on the head there. I think each deal, each house, each property has its own path. Fix and flip, whether it's a fix and flip, a buy and a wholesale, we're just analyzing each deal as it comes in based on, the seller needs and what they want and what they need out of their house and what the ARVs are on them. We're just assessing each one as they come in. And I think we round table everything that comes in, and we decide what's the best avenue for the property. Inbound call, if it's in a nicer neighborhood with a high enough ARV, we punch it into our little spreadsheet, Jordan thing, and, it'll spit out our ROI on there. So if it works for a flip, great, we'll flip it. A lot of times the sellers might want more money for it. Well, there's some other creative things that we could do with the property to maybe get them a higher offer value for it. Like example, if it's, I'm going to scare some people with these numbers because we don't live in Sacramento.
Yeah. Every market is totally different, right? You got to know that right from the start here.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, yeah. I should have threw that right out there. So people, $50,000 purchase price. Yeah.
It's like
it needs no work.
Yeah.
That the ARV on it is, $85,000.
Yep.
Well, you can't really flip that, but we could insert it into our rental portfolio and
great cash on cash, because in the area it's going to rent for what, 600 to maybe close to 9 or 1,000.
Oh, example, I just got one in contract today, $52,000, and it is going to rent for $850.
Yeah.
After the taxes, insurance, and debt service on it, we're going to net about $356 a month on that property.
Not bad at all.
Not bad at all.
Yeah.
Do that 100 times.
And yeah, that's what it's all about. It's all about the persistence, taking one at a time or a group of them like you guys did with that one guy you called and you hit the jackpot. I mean, that's awesome. So when, all right, so let's talk about these leads for a second. When the leads come in, are you mostly answering the phone, or is it a combination?
Most of the time. Most of the time. So we've got our CRM, and we've got leads coming from all kinds of different places. If anybody's got any great ideas how to unify these, let me know. I'm not sure if our CRM will do it. Somebody has to teach me that.
Teach Jordan that. We got to
teach him that so he can teach me. Heck, I'll screen them all once they come in. That's great. Too many platforms. My God, you got Facebook, you got Instagram, you got HubSpot, you got our website, you got our email. My God, they're coming from everywhere. But once I see them, or honestly, Jordan probably sees them first. He goes, "Hey, dude, got one in the email. Great." I'll immediately pick it up. Based on how much they're, emailing or texting, I'll just determine whether or not they like to text or type fast first. But I like to get phone numbers. I like to talk to people. I'll inbound call or outbound call to them, and then we'll get on our seller lead sheet and, start trying to figure out which basket they fall into, whether they're
basically build out a profile, right? For them.
Yeah, we call it it's a seller lead sheet, man. It's extensive. I think our original seller lead sheet came from something from Fortune Builders, but it asks all the right qualifying questions.
Do you roughly know, could we go over some of that may be good for some of the listeners?
I got one right here. I always keep one handy, man.
Yeah, you got it. That's what it's about.
So let's see here. Seller lead sheet. And it's got a whole bunch of type of stuff at the top. We got the property address, name, bed, bath type. Let's see here. Contact information, owners on title, mortgage, living situation. Like, hey, do you currently live in the house? Great. How long you lived in there? What kind of repairs are needed? So this is kind of framed to get certain answers out of them. I'll say, it's got somewhat of a sales approach to it, I would say.
Yeah, that's good.
But what you're doing is you're creating, like you say, a profile for them, and you're asking them about repairs. Like, okay, how much repairs in it? And then all of a sudden they're like, they see dollars in their head adding up. Then it comes down here to the motivation section. Like, hey, why are you selling? Like, how can we help you? How can I help you? Then down into their mortgage information. Like, do you guys still owe on it? Is there 1 or 2 liens on it? It's probably really hard to see. 1 or 2 liens on it. How much is your mortgage payment? The whole 9. And there's reason for asking that. I mean, some people might consider that really pushy and whatnot, but I just assure them, hey, there's a reason for that. Like, hey, if you owe $100,000 on this house and it's worth 90, and your mortgage is only $800, well, heck, I might pay your mortgage for you and save you 10 grand. There's options to this. So, they see, all right, you're just looking to help there. They're more prone to answer those type of questions. And it's in down to price. How much do you want for your property? $1 million.
Yeah.
Just like selling a car. How much you want for your truck? 40 grand.
Yeah.
You just nod. Okay. Well, it's really worth 27. Would you take that? Let's see here. Then it comes down to some decision-making things like, are they the one that can actually make the decisions on the property? Do we have to get other parties involved, whatnot? And then, there's a little internal office use only down here. It's got our evaluator and estimated repairs based on the information they've given us and so on.
I love it. Yeah, I think this
Jordan's
right
selling
here.
Copies of this.
What is it?
I think Jordan's selling copies of this somewhere.
I love it. So this right here is super valuable, right? Because you need that. You need to have basically the sheet on hand, just like you do, and to be able to go through the qualifying questions to be able to build out that profile to see.
Yep, on your card sheet or on your desktop.
Yeah.
Like a fillable PDF, whatever, for all the techie people out there.
Yeah. So now once you actually get this profile completed, are you running numbers to give a quick offer right away?
Sometimes I am. It's maybe like a feeler offer based on my desktop analysis. While I'm talking to these people, I'm not just reading off the sheet. You do this enough, you'll get comfortable in framing your questions and going through that. And while you're doing that, you're pulling up houses in the area, but we're small enough. I mean, if you tell me you got a 3-1 in 25302, then I know we're probably looking at a $80,000 to $90,000 house right there.
If you know your area.
Yeah, exactly. And then,
which is important.
Absolutely.
Know your area, guys. Know your area.
Yeah. Again, back to some marketing stuff, man. Like, get targeted on it. I mean, we casted maybe too wide of a net at first. And then, and we're in West Virginia. You can imagine getting some, calls on trailers and things like that. Not that there's anything wrong with trailers, but like, I just, I'm not good at that yet. I'm not versed in it. And you get some bad leads, we'll just say. So you target your marketing.
Good.
But yeah, I'm figuring out, what type of ARV we have based on the repairs you need. And I'd say I have a way of framing this like, hey, what does a house like that in your area sell for? That's kind of a good one for them to kind of tell you, well, 90 grand. Well, to me, that tells me that they're wanting 90 grand. I immediately ask, hey, is that all fixed up? Yeah, well, yeah, it's kind of nice. Well, so let me give you a general idea how I back into these offers. I'll explain we do it by a multiplier, maybe deduct some repairs if we're going to flip it. That will put my target offer somewhere around here. And right then, I think you can either peel them off the ceiling.
Yeah.
Or, heck, they might just start shaking their head. Oh, okay. And then, of course, this is, there's no contract to this or anything. The next thing is to like schedule the appointment. So we'll go out and take a peek, do a hard repair estimator, and go from there.
Now, when it comes down to contracts or contractors, I should say, once you actually schedule that appointment to go over there, you felt them out over the phone. They seem like, hey, you could potentially get a deal. You guys schedule the appointment, go over there, you meet up with your contractor. How has the contracting experience been for you guys when it comes down to the remodels? Have you guys had any setbacks, any getting screwed over at all over there, or
so
how does that look like?
Screwed over? No.
Nice.
And that goes back to the contracts that we have in place. Thank God, because, we do have a thing that has to go through some legal type actions right now. But with thanks to the contracts in place, we are completely blanketed, and we're super thankful for that. But we've not had bad experiences. And with anybody personally, I think we had some trouble with some of the work one time. Other than that, as far as, people and our contractors and good work and showing up and doing their job, it's been relatively good. And it's all about, again, the steps, like the hiring processes that we've put in place for our contractors and vetting them and making sure that they carry the right insurances and that they're, licensed, insured, bonded for X amount of dollars. A lot of that is vetting in itself. You're weeding out a lot of the, not so good contractors who, somebody don't carry a license, you probably don't want them anyways. They might be cheaper, they might save you money, but you're going to pay for it in the long run.
It's so true. It's so true. So how are you guys getting your contractors? Is it through just searching up for them, searching around the neighborhood, or referrals?
A lot of it is referrals. So, back to word of mouth, a lot of referrals, working with contractors who, have good buddies who are licensed and insured. They'll refer us on to jobs or sub it out, as they say, sub it out. And then our website, it's a lead magnet in itself. Buyers, sellers, contractors, realtors, the whole nine. Anything you want, they can find on our website. If they're looking for work, they can fill out an application as a contractor. And then when we get a property under contract and we're making our scope of work on it, we'll let contractors bid it out, and we'll message them and tell them, hey, come bid on our project. We'd love to have you there. Bring a copy of your business license, insurance, the whole nine. I mean, you get rid of a lot of bad ones that way too. So, you're not just don't have little Larry from down the road trying to paint your house.
Oh, that's good. Okay. When it comes down to these projects, and I know it really just depends on what kind of deal it is to make it work, right? Because you're trying to make it a win-win situation for each one, whether you're wholesaling it, flipping it, or putting it in the rental portfolio. Have you guys been doing subject twos at all?
Actually, yeah, we have a couple examples where we've, been able to take over someone's mortgage or subject to seller financing and offer them more money in a lot of cases.
Make it a great win-win.
Super win-win for everybody. There was a very nice young lady who had a house that they had moved into, her and her family, and they were going to fix it up and sell it. Well, they kind of outgrew the house real quick. So she was had it on the market. It was on the market for over a year. We had our eyes on it. Other investors in the area had come and taken a peek at it and, offered her X amount of dollars, which I don't believe that she was willing to take that much of a loss on her property.
Did she just want too much?
Actually, no. I guess it depends on how you look at it. Or where we were able to purchase the property subject to the existing financing. We were able to offer her an amount that she was happy with and get her out of that property. She moved into a house down the road from me. We're good friends. We waved to each other. She's like, oh my God, these guys helped me out so much. And she's a really nice woman. But other investors in the area looked at her property and I forget the exact numbers, but it was roughly in the $70,000 range for a property. Well, subject to the existing financing, we were able to offer her $20,000 more for her property and just float the renovation costs ourselves. Picked the house up and sold it, and win-win. She got $20,000 more than any other offer she had expected, and we made money as well.
I love it. I love the creative type of solutions out there to really get creative and make a huge win-win situation. That's what it's all about.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And then, heck, one today that I got in contract, it's subject to the seller's existing financing. Just to save you guys some aggravation, we've got a portfolio that once we've owned a property, there's no deed seasoning period on it, which is fantastic. And once we have the property deeded into our LLC and a renter in it with a signed lease, we're able to take and refinance that into our portfolio with no money down. So rather than raising money from an investor and
let them be the bank.
Yeah. So I offered him $2,000 more just to be the bank until I inserted into my rental portfolio. And by God, bam, here we go.
Yeah. Boom, another one. So
I thought he went cold on me. It took him 2 weeks, and I was like, man, I lost this guy. Jordan's like, don't bother him. I'm like, nah, I got to stay on top of him. But he texted me this morning and said, call me when you can. I was $50,000 cash or 52 if you play bank. And he said, I've talked to my financial advisor and I'm going to do the 52. I said, great.
We're going to his dog.
I'm going to come get the contract right now.
I love it. So, okay. So, let's talk about that deal just for a quick second before we wrap it up. So no money down, is there a certain balloon payment due in a certain amount of years? And
there is, yes. So I told him, look, $50,000 cash, I'll pay you off, I'll write you a check. But a lot of times in our game, I can offer you money when you're in the situation that you're in. What situation is that? Well, you don't know anything on this house. You don't have a payment. You're not floating it to the bank or anything. Your taxes aren't due. You're in a great position. You played bank for 2 months. I'll give you $52,000 to maximize your offer. And really what it boiled down to is I was at 50. He wanted 55. I offered him, hey, play bank. I'll give you $52,000.
Yeah.
We close on the house. Deed goes into my name. I'll do the little repairs that are needed here. And I'll give you a balloon payment due 2 months after we do the first closing on it, and get you a check for $52,000, and you'll sign me a lien waiver, releasing us of the debt.
So no extra interest on that. It's just
it's just a $52,000 balloon payment due then. Yep.
Okay, I love it. That's awesome. Cool. So where do you guys? I mean, you guys are obviously getting a ton of momentum at this point, and really just rocking and rolling. Where do you see yourself in the future with this? You guys have a lot of options, I feel like, and it's only just starting to begin and build up. Where does
I think we are just coming to a peak, man. We've been doing this for almost 3 years. 14 days, it'll be 3 years.
Yeah.
So I feel, it was hard. It was hard the first couple of years. And I think we're finally, getting to the top of the hill. And I think it's going to be a snowball effect from here. I'm on the credit council elite, with that, and Jordan helping out. Heck, Brandon showed us how to get our credit up. Heck, mine jumped up into 803. I was like, heck yeah, dude. I remember saying, when I get to 700, I'm going to have a party, what the heck, 800, I didn't expect that at all.
You just skip the 700s and just screw it.
Yeah, it kind of felt like I did skip the 700, but I see ourselves, trending, going from hard money lending and things like that to private money, which is obviously better, into traditional bank financing. It has been a huge catalyst to where we're going to be into the future. We got a conventional bank to finally say, hey, here's $500,000, go fill up a portfolio. And I was like, wow. This is the best feeling ever. So where I see ourselves, I want to be $4 million in debt.
Let's go.
So what I mean by that is our current portfolio, for every $500,000, we're netting about $3,500. Well, multiply that times 8. Well, that's, over $24,000 net a month. That's, that's where I'd like to be able to walk away from the car business and things like that. So I guess what it's going to take for me to be able to retire from my day job is to be $4 million in debt. And that it's going to come with, building relationships with banks and, a flip here, a flip there. And then while we're doing that, we're gradually building that portfolio up to ultimately get to our end goal there.
Yeah. Yeah,
never
man.
have to change goals.
Yeah, I love it. I'm $2.25 million in debt currently, and that's what it's all about. It's try to keep scaling it. It's good debt, baby. There's a big difference, right? That cash flowing debt.
Yeah.
That's what it's all.
Hey, well, heck, what do you got? You're 2.25. So what do you have? 2 houses there?
Yeah. I got a house. I love it.
I think with 4 million, it's probably going to be I don't know, 50 to 80 properties.
Yeah. I need to actually take out more equity out of my properties out here and get in some more debt so I can leverage it more.
Absolutely. It's just a snowball effect, man. Keep getting in more debt.
That's right. So that's a good little end note to finalize on, guys. There's a big
difference. Go get in debt.
Yeah, go get out there and get in debt. This isn't one of those Dave Ramsey shows right now. This is honestly, there's a big difference between good debt and bad debt and calculated risk. And
that's a whole nother podcast, though, right?
It is. Yeah.
Oh man, we'll go get in debt.
I love it. Jacob, bro, I appreciate you so much, man. You just gave an hour of your time. What could the listeners or myself do to give back to you?
Man, that's a good question. I don't ask for much, I don't know. Yeah, I mean, just, lift each other up, support each other, all, business, like-minded people, especially real estate investors. My God, be a strong community together, lift each other up, help each other out when you can. Referrals and all that good stuff. And I don't know who will see this in our area, but hey, communicate with us. Get on board with us. We'd love to partner up with you and see how we can help each other make a difference. Really
love it. Guys, Jacob is somebody, he's very humble. He's an awesome dude and obviously very laid back, but so freaking knowledgeable. He's just a shark out there. So the most gentle shark, right?
That's right.
So you definitely want to reach out to him. Do me a favor and just connect with him on social media. How can people actually get a hold of you?
So, heck, drop my phone number in there. I don't care. You can call me anytime.
Yeah.
It's 304-881-8487. If you go to www.buildingappalachia.com, my number will be up in the top left-hand corner there. You can connect with us via email there, reach out to our Facebook, facebook.com/buildingappalachia or Appalachia, however you say it, where you're from. I got to spell it fast. It's Appalachia. If I don't spell it fast, I can't spell it at all. Building Appalachia, or facebook.com/Building Appalachia. Our Instagram is @Building Appalachia. Communicate with us. We'd love to partner up with you. Just, check us out, see what we're doing, how we're making a difference. Like our posts.
Yeah.
And, if we could partner up on something, by God, let's do it. If you want some knowledge, I'm a, free knowledge base to a certain extent. I do have a home life. I got a family, my girlfriend, my 3 kids. So yeah,
beautiful kids, beautiful family.
As well as work. So another reason I want to get $4 million in debt so I can spend more time with them. I think we all got a back goal there somewhere. So
that's so good. Yeah. Well, I appreciate you, bro. I really do. And all the listeners, you definitely want to go check out and just follow their story, what they got going on the next couple of years. I already see just tremendous amount of just, full force ahead and helping out a ton more people and just taking more territory, more ground. So reach out to Jacob and take advantage of, the discounted prices right now and get the hookup and the homie special right now, because I know it's not going to be like that forever. But with that being said, if you guys want to connect with me, then you can do so on Instagram. It's Brandon Elliott Investments. Otherwise, facebook.com/Brandon Elliott Investor. If you guys are looking for credit repair done for you services, we can do that for you. And you want to reach out to creditrepairmobile.com. Otherwise, if you are looking to get educated on your own credit, learn how to fix your own credit very quickly, and be able to put your credit to work, build up 6 figures of funding and business credit, then what you're going to want to do is check us out on creditcounselelite.com. That's what Jacob is a part of as well. And there's been just tremendous amount of awesome feedback from a lot of the members in there, and what, credit can do. The power behind it is truly unbelievable. So we've been able to purchase properties with credit cards, especially in areas like over where it's more discounted. And we've been able to complete all of our remodels on credit, as well as do even hard money lending on credit. So if you guys are looking to do the same, then check out creditcounselelite.com. And as always, hit that subscribe button so you get the newest notification every single Monday. Leave a review. Let us know what you guys think about it and show us some love. Appreciate you guys all so much. Jacob, you are the man, brother. I appreciate you, man.
You the man, B. You the man.
I'll talk to you guys soon. Stay blessed.
Hey, be good. Take care. God bless.
This has been another episode of Ready, Set, Go Real Estate Investing Podcast, brought to you by Brandon Elliott. For more information, please visit BrandonElliottInvestments.com. Also, please don't forget to like, share, and leave a comment below. Thanks again for joining. Until next time, God bless.